Good afternoon, everyone. I am Pradeep Yadav, and I am going to spend 7-8 minutes just to talk about remote access server. In the morning, we did a lot of discussion about security, data security, and actually it is a very sad statistics that 75% threat and incident of data security happens within the organization by the employees, okay? Because they have all kinds of access. So this is already a grave situation. Over a period, a lot of new convergence applications are coming in. A lot of technology vendors are collaborating to give a holistic end-to-end solution. So a lot of partner employees are coming to work and play for maintenance of your network, your application, as well as your devices. So they also need the access into your system. So once they need the access, they normally serve you from their NOC, Network Operations Center, and give you the support services in case of issues. So they have also access to a lot of things. And since they are not your direct employee, so your vulnerability is much more higher. So this presentation talks about remote access server, where we put a server. If suppose I am a client, so I will put a server at my location, and all my vendor from their side, they will support me. So they will not directly come into my system, they will come via the remote access server. So they will first log in to remote access server, and then they will do the needful correction, and all their activity will be continuously video screen recorded, as well as various kind of data log or event log. Everything is recorded for any kind of future audit. So it is remote access is a basic definition that it is ability to get access to a computer or a network from a remote distance, and you understand why it is required, because these days people outsourcing, everything outsourcing, okay? So a remote access server is the computer and associate software that is set up to handle the user seeking access to network. And it normally has a firewall, because you are coming from service provider data center, a vendor is coming there, so he will have to pass through the firewall. And it can be host. So normally, suppose I am a operator and I have bought item from, let's say, Huawei, ZTE, NSN, Ericsson, and they have given their network thing and maybe some software from IBM. So if any kind of problem I face, I will get these people will support me from a centralized location of their own company NOC area. So I have to create a RAS server, remote access server, and all these people will log into that, and their screen snap, their device log, everything will be recorded during that remote session. So this is a regulatory requirement also, at least for telco, and it is perceived that because the telco has been slightly forward moving, so they have a very clear-cut requirement. But now government is going to make mandatory for any remote access support services to follow this requirement, okay? And normally remote access happens through a virtual private network and or through a cloud. So this is a typical scenario. Sorry for the poor drawing. This is the terminal 1 and terminal 2, and these are the three different vendor, different location. So they can make a request to a remote access connection. These things are in the client premise. So they can connect to the server, and then from server they can log in as user 1, user 2, different user with different access privileges, and they can provide their needed services, because none of this one vendor has to get access to all the locations of the network or all the devices or all the software. So they are some kind of zoning is there. And remote access requirement is as per regulatory compliances. And in fact, for telecom provider, by 31st December 2013, all the telecom vendor, all the telecom service provider have to put a remote access server into their data center. And any kind of remote service has to happen through this data server. And I will again I think this is my most important slide was the previous one. I will just spend 1-2 more minute time, then I think it is pretty. Actually what happened, from this location you make a router connectivity, and in router also you can define access control list. So if I define the router connectivity for 2-3 IP address, so only those fixed IP will be allowed to get connected. Because this happen on a public network, mostly on the internet cloud. Okay, because right now still companies are yet to set up their private cloud. So because of that, so that other party don't intrude and poach into my remote access server. So there is a lot of control at the router end. Then we have a lot of access control, authorization, authentication on this server. And then this is happening through the creation of user with different kind of access and database data. So this is regulatory requirement. I will not get detail into it. And then the key element of a remote access is the access control list in the router, where you have to only specify only this IP address are allowed and these are not allowed. Similarly, you create a tunneling and encryption of data. So whenever data is happening, transaction between the remote access server and the remote location of the NOC, then it happens through encrypted. And there are certain VPN, and I will not go in detail. And then remote access. So you get access to the server, then you have a screen capture. So whatever you are doing on the screen, okay, there are third-party software which can entirely record all the screens. So when whatever you are doing on the remote access server screen, everything is recorded, video recorded. And along with that, whatever configuration you are changing, that is recorded also, and the device logs are also recorded as a textual log. So in a way, you try to control each and every bit of activity of the vendor. So he is not doing anything wrong, and in case if he has done anything wrong, then you have a way to show it by the traces, which is being recorded. And then this database has to be put on the site of the service provider. If I have a vendor who is giving me a service, so at my location I have to keep a data for 1 year offline, 1 year online. This is for telecom vendor, and this is going to be for others also. And second thing is, a lot of vendors are setting up their own cloud, and then the telcos are also setting up their own cloud. So this earlier remote access server was point to point, but now the new architecture which I had proposed in Singapore, this presentation was made in 2013 April, Singapore, where I said you can have a cloud. On the cloud, you can, with certain different privileges to different vendor and different database access table, you can create a multi-tenant scenario so that people can come to the same unified window of remote access server and can do the job. And when I am doing my job, I may require data something to do with my own device plus something interfacing device which might be from another vendor. So those two data has to be mutually shared. So all those kind of business rules can be very well defined, and access can be accordingly provided. So in an automated manner, a multi-level cloud can be set up to provide a very efficient remote access control. And sometimes so happens that for one problem, you have two interfacing vendor, both have to solve the problem. And they need to have a data access exchange also. Because whatever analysis, my analysis, I will tell the other guy. So we have to do a hand checking also. But in this kind of model, the data is our automated manner they are being shared. And actually, I am very delighted to tell you that this particular project was awarded top 10 Asia security project of the year 2013. So I'm very privileged to have to present this august crowd, and I was listed as top 100 CIO of Asia 2013. So if you write down Pradeep Yadav, top 100 CIO Asia, and it was by IDG Forum, which is Asia involving the entire Dubai and all, China, Japan, everybody is there, part of it. So it was awarded in top 10 security project, and I was designated as top 100 CIO of Asia. So once again, it is my second last slide. In multi-tenancy case, this is the shared database among the vendor, and these are the different tenant, means different vendor. They come to the common repository, and then they access the setup, and they have different kind of their own perspective for resolution of the issue. So not taking much time, I really thank you for your kind patience. Thank you.